guys, I'm back with the camera. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading for a while. You know, I have a very busy day today, and one of the things I'm going to be doing, I've managed to carve out some time to watch one of my most anticipated movies of this year, Rogue One. I'm going to be reviewing it for you, but before I go see it, I wanted to give some of my sort of my expectation, my hopes. All I want really is just a really dark, gritty and realistic, grounded Star Wars movie, you know, and I want to see whether or not this sort of standalone experiment, you know, it's not an episode, it doesn't follow like the Skywalker story or anything. I want to see whether or not this actually works, and ultimately I want them to be able to bring the war in Star Wars, because that's something we haven't really seen before, and I'm just so excited, can't wait, let's go.
We've a mission for you. A major weapons test is imminent. We need to know how to destroy it.
If you're really doing this, I want to help.
Holy fuck. So remember when I said I had a really busy day ahead of me? Well, it's 1:30 in the morning, and so I've decided to do my full review tomorrow, today, if you're watching this on December the 16th. But by that, I mean right now. Rogue One is directed by Gareth Edwards and stars quite a lot of people that I will get into later on the video, but I think there's one question that a lot of people are wondering, and you know, that's whether or not Rogue One stands up to Force Awakens, you know, which one's better. And I was thinking about this for a while, and I think that Rogue One and Force Awakens, it's like comparing The Winter Soldier to The Avengers. They're both absolutely great superhero movies, but they're also very different superhero movies. Rogue One and Force Awakens are both great Star Wars movies, but they are very different. The Force Awakens is like this grand, epic adventure, whereas Rogue One is like dark and gritty and sort of very sort of grounded. And you know, I feel like it really brings out the war in Star Wars, and that was exactly what I wanted. It's very realistic as well, on how it depicts sort of the war in Star Wars, because we've never really seen anything like this before. The CEO of Disney said himself that Rogue One was sort of an experiment to see whether or not you know, they could sort of branch out Star Wars and do standalone movies. And I can say without a doubt that it works and that it's absolutely great. First, let's talk about Gareth Edwards' direction. I've seen him before in Godzilla. I didn't like love Godzilla, but I did kind of understand what they were going for. One of the best things about Godzilla was the scale and the scope, and how Gareth Edwards uses the camera to really show how big something actually is. And that's definitely seen here in Rogue One. He does such a great job of showing the size of things. There's a scene, for example, where you have the rebels running on the ground and you can see these big like AT-ATs firing at them. And I just love the way that he kind of shows the big size of it and how he makes the humans feel so small. Now, I am a huge Star Wars fan. This is like the original non-George Lucas fucked up edition. It's like the complete original version of Star Wars that I spent years looking for. I've had this for about 8 years now, and that makes me so incredibly critical about how a Star Wars movie is made. If it's great, and I love it. If it's something's wrong with it, then I instantly see that, and I just, you know. But for the most part, this movie does a pretty great job, and I'll get into the flaws later. But let's talk about the performances. Felicity Jones was pretty damn great as the main character, Jyn Erso, and I really liked how they didn't make her like the lead role, and they made her kind of like fit into a team of characters that we see throughout the movie. And I like how they made her feel really realistic and actually made her feel like a real character. We got her backstory and everything. Also in this movie is Diego Luna, who really did surprise me, because I've never really seen much of his work before. I've seen him in Elysium and stuff, but he really surprised me in this movie. He plays this like incredibly conflicted character, and I love how he doesn't always agree with the orders that he's given by the Rebel Alliance. And because, you know, this guy has seen some shit, and the Rebel Alliance, their decisions and their orders aren't always like the best. You know, you don't always agree with them, and sometimes they're not exactly what you would call good. Because, and I really like the way this movie sort of shows that there is actually a line, you know, there's good and evil, and the Rebel Alliance, some of the things they do really do kind of like walk that line, and I really like how they explore that, because it just makes it feel such a realistic war movie, and it actually feels like a real war, because, you know, not every decision is great, and not like, nothing, you know, when you try to do something it might not work out, and I really like how they explore that, because, you know, this is a Disney movie, and I didn't think that they were going to explore themes like that. Also, Mads Mikkelsen is in the movie. She plays Jyn Erso's dad, and I thought he was really good, although I wanted to see more of him. I thought he's definitely getting the appreciation and the recognition that he deserves. Also, Forrest Whitaker is in this movie. He doesn't have like a huge role, and I thought he was good for the most part, but when he spoke, I mean, I didn't really know what accent he was going for, but he kind of sounded like a dead animal. Ben Mendelsohn plays the villain in this movie, and I thought he was really good for the most part, although I thought that sometimes he did go a bit over the top, but other than that he was pretty great. Also, Riz Ahmed was great, Jiang Wen was pretty good, but my two favourite characters, and I think you're going to hear this a lot, and you're probably going to agree with me, is K2SO, played by Alan Tudyk. It's a completely CGI droid character. It's absolutely hilarious, and you know, it's the character that sort of brings the comic relief to the movie and makes it feel less depressing. Also, Donnie Yen's character, I thought he was absolutely amazing. He had like some of the best fight scenes in the movie.
All is as the Force wills it.
And some of the best one-liners. I thought he was absolutely great. And, you know, I'm not going to forget about Darth Vader, played by James motherfucking Earl Jones. Right, Darth Vader, I'm just going to say straight up, Darth Vader's not in the movie for a lot, but he's got two scenes, right? He's got two scenes. And one scene is kind of this dialogue-driven scene where you kind of just hear that voice, and you just get chills down your spine. And the other scene, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if you watch the Marvel Netflix series and you like those hallway corridor fight scenes, just yes. And let's talk about the action scenes. They're all great throughout the movie. Every action scene was absolutely done perfectly, but I want to talk about that third act sort of end battle scene on Scarif. It's spectacular. You know, there's kind of like, it happens on three fronts. You've got Jyn, Cassian, and K2SO sort of infiltrating, trying to get the Death Star plans. You have the rest of like the Rebel army fighting on the ground, on the beach against the Empire, and you have the space battle with the X-Wings. All three of these are executed perfectly, and they kind of mesh in together for an absolutely great finale, which I won't spoil for you. Now, as for flaws, there weren't many, but I did find one or two, mostly to the beginning of the movie, and that was simply that some of the editing and some of the introduction to like, the main characters felt relatively rushed and didn't sort of come together very well, but that's just like an editing problem. Also, this is the first time in a Star Wars movie where they use like the title cards, you know, to show where they are, just not to confuse you, which was necessary in this movie. And also, the sort of the references and the Easter eggs, I love them, but for a normal moviegoer, like a mainstream audience who isn't necessarily the biggest Star Wars fan like I am, I feel like they could they might not understand all the references and they might just get kind of confused, but I wasn't. I love them all. Guys, on the whole, I absolutely love this movie. It's definitely top 5 of the year, and you know, it's got great action, great characters. It's such a heartfelt and deep war movie, and it really does tackle some dark themes that I didn't know that a Disney movie would go there. And I mean, literally after I finished that, I was just kind of dying to watch A New Hope again. And I'm pretty sure that this movie can show that Star Wars can do anything. They can go to such different themes and explore different sort of areas of cinema. And so I give this movie an A. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Please stay tuned for my next videos coming up. I'm not really sure when, I haven't really planned them, but please stay tuned, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you.